he will talk why we do have to study Buddhism. What's Buddhism? What related for Buddhism in our culture? How important to study Tibetan language? He will talk about like that. You can be question right now, okay? You got it? You can question English, Tibetan either. If you don't understand, also ask him. You couldn't understand. He will explain more. But he didn't talk too long. Most of you guys get more chance to discussion. Okay? How goes on? Hello, testing, test. Hello.
You guys need to all shut off your phone, okay? Or everybody needs to shut their phones off. Okay? You don't
No, you don't need YouTube here, okay? Here, you are here. Do that. Okay, you will see later. Because you have all kids here. Most youngsters and us. Don't see life. Don't see life. Yes.
Hello, testing. Tashitele. Hello, Tashitele. Hello, Sanglo Tashitele. Hello, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Hello. Yeah. Come on. Okay, so come on, let's start in the law. So, because Rinpoche yomare de pegi ra Rinpoche pe tane nganzo like kama chonga nishu to Rinpoche ki thawas ta khalare kalob doji che and the jela mainly question and answers so tiwa like yeah Q&A karikola like kunna digire ra and tiwa karikuna kunna digire and kesi injina le kunna digire pögen ale kunna digire ani kesi pöge injina ko wena pöge na yure like ngai try chugo ani kesi Rinpoche gi pöge na mangche shinge na kesi kya pöge la share kapu na ni injina yure try chugo ra mi shamba gyungye yona ngala roba china digirda
Rinpoche caminada, cham bhag kese madya. Uno.
and thanda de gang la camera jdo camera de gi min da Rinpoche da de khasa de chungyo de nganzo min da Facebook live yore ani and nganzo do like such a shamba la and shamba din zo bine tagi yore ka sheje khonso da khajit mangle ta thu yeah
Anyway, he will come soon, okay? No play, please, okay? Be attention. Whatever he talk, listen. And I'm really looking for you guys to give some questions, okay? 하고서 3일이 지와다야기 지와다 도야기 회원하러나 하고서
Hello. Me Thomas Susukiran's phone off Shiroshida, Kajin Lalang, the YouTube live Yora, and Kesikiran's phone off Mema and the disturb Chigidwa, and like video the lag Chigido, Jelado. So on Chinkiran's phone Tama off Shishida, yeah.
Shushu. Okay.
Tadiri, Kyabje Ling Rinpoche, they are Boston, Sunny, and the Lotion was the Yamde Yandere, and the Dolina Kokanoa, Boston subject to Chishui, and also than the Dele Pugopia to Macedanda, Arida Canada Union, the Puma Boshitella, Rajatan and Yamshu Rojo, the Mangache, the Corso Tibetan and the Sachadoy, Tuchena.
Tashdile. Ani terinde ananzuda kashure kyangzude Boston shunge puri ani shenji tsure ani yang dangna shipige changlam gyune ani Canada da yang America sane shimbane dusje singe yigiri jezadi indu puri shenji songolon jeje ani ji kashure 만주 님도 좀 두부대 시라 가부총 세상 참molol이야 아니 지 참듯 되니 아니 다시 들레스 쉐이 죽으디 나데 내게 남주인데 말에 그냥 장 삼바 그게 두자 쉬드 삼바 나 참바 잡샤 와 flu 제가 내게 안 가지 어딘데 제가 다 가슈래 가슈다 나 때문에 사바 쉬었게매 닉세 Don't expect anything new from me. I've got nothing new to share with you. I feel a little uncomfortable when I meet with Tibetans. If I speak in English, little, awkward, but some of you may not know Tibetan, may not be fluent and maybe miss out some of message. I can say message or message and do what I want to express. But the other problem is my English is not also very bad. So you guys have to correct me. Okay. I think many of you born in India, right? And some of you may be born in America or Northern American region. So maybe some of you born in India but raised up in the United States or so you all have very good opportunity to take modern to study modern education. So I think this is a very, very rare opportunity. You may not realize the situation where you are now, because majority of Tibetans who live in India or who live in Tibet, most of them do not have this chance to, study and khashurita study and to understand opportunity to learn modern knowledge. So you are very, very lucky. And also, and also you are all very lucky to have very good family, good care, good affection. So you are all very lucky. But you all are Tibetan, after all. So it is very important that this very critical time of the Tibetan situation, we should keep our Tibetan culture alive. So in order to that to materialize, in order to that to happen, I think each and every one of you should be able to speak Tibetan and should be able to read Tibetan. If you can speak Tibetan, then automatically you will be able to read Tibetan. And then you will be able to, keep the Tibetan culture alive. So that is my, so that is very important, I think, feel. I know that it is not easy for you because in your daily life, Tibetan is not not much of use because you're in the school or wherever. Unlike in India, we have our own Tibetan schools run by Tibetan and taught by Tibetan teachers. So we have our own community. Where else is here, you all have to, mix into with the Americans. So I could understand this difficult the problem, situation. But as a Tibetan, it is important that I think we should be able to speak Tibetan. So I encourage you to speak in Tibetan and to learn Tibetan language and Tibetan letter. So that is one of my message. And His Holiness Dalai Lama always says that each and every one of Tibetans are representative of Tibet. So we should all, be very kind and good, and because if one Tibetan create a crime, then it is not good for the individual, him or herself, and not good for the Tibetans in general, because we have a tradition based on Buddhist teaching, love and compassion, and it's all about being a good human being and being a kind human being. So this is all about wearing Tibetan clothes, singing Tibetan song is part of Tibetan culture, but most important is based on the teachings of Buddha, love and compassion, and based on that teaching to be a good human being, and to be a good Tibetan. That is the most important. So I encourage each and every one of you to not only follow the teachings of Buddha by how we used to do it in Tibet, circumambulating and reciting mantra and doing prostrations. Not only that, the real teaching of Buddha is in the text. Buddha's teachings are in Buddha's text. So it is important that we study the Buddha's message. If we study Buddha's message, then you will be able to live a happy, healthy, and a very peaceful life. And at the same time, you will be able to be a good Tibetan. So this is one of my message. And you all know this is a very critical time of the Tibetan issue. His Holiness the Lama is 80 plus, and the situation in Tibet is very, very unpredictable always. Those in Tibet, Tibetans, even they want to speak something, they cannot speak. If they want to read something, they cannot read. So they are totally, without freedom. So we are the ones who can speak out and who can solve the Tibetan issue from outside of Tibet. So we have a greater responsibility, especially younger generation in America and in Europe have more opportunities, and with the modern knowledge, I'm sure we can make a big difference for the Tibetan cause and for the Tibetan freedom. So I encourage you, all of you, to not to lose this chance. It is like you are in a land of jewel, and not picking up the jewel. Then it's a great loss. So you must be a good human being and a good Tibetan, and not lose the chance to study modern knowledge. That's all. Thank you.
Tashidele, thank you for coming to Boston. My name is Tenzin Nilik, and I just wondered if you played any sports when you were younger, I guess. Yeah.
Sports, yes. What's it called? Badminton, right? Oh, yeah. Yes. I forgot, since I have not played for so long. And hide and seek. Yeah, things like that. Yeah, table tennis. Yeah. There's this checkers says to game jor. No, checkers.
Just today, ngara chiwa ji. So my engineer gashana digira kunzuma koachido. So I guess my question is, especially for younger, like high school students or even like younger students who are here in this room, can you talk about a moment when you realized, learning Buddhism really helps you in one way? Because a lot of times we get the message that it's important to study Buddhism or it's important to practice something, but actually like understanding the example of how it plays out, I think it sets a clear vision of how it actually helps. So I was curious if you can share an example of your own self understanding, like coming to that realization.
I studying Buddhism, I also want to clarify that I'm not giving you the message that because your parents follow Buddhism, because your parents follow such and such religion, you should follow that. That is totally nonsense. Yes, because Buddhism carries the message of love and compassion. That is the essence of Buddhism. And love and compassion is very relevant and very important, not only for us, but for every living sentient being. I don't think anyone can reject love and compassion. Love and compassion is due to the lack of love and compassion that all this problem in this world, such as wars, such as all those violence, such as rape, murder, all those crimes, it is due to not seeing the value of love and compassion. And if there is no value in love and compassion, then there is no guarantee that if you go outside of your door, whether you'll be safe or not. So this is all, if every human being in this world sees the value of love and compassion, I think there will be no problem in this world. So that's why it is our duty for the elder generation and to pass down this message to our generation, our next generation. But whether you will put it into your own daily life practice or not, that is totally up to you. So, but we in a sense, I mean, I don't know how should I put it, but I can say we are trying to give you the best gift. Even materialistic things, even money, such as money and such as jewels, has a very limit the very, very limited pleasure, amount of pleasure that you receive from it. But love and compassion is always useful in your own life, in society, everywhere. So that's, and Buddha speaks the most, extensively on love and compassion. And if love and compassion combined with the understanding of wisdom is together, then we can overcome all the problems that we are facing nowadays. So that is the thing. And yes, what I have learned from Buddhism, so excuse me. Let's suppose say, okay, I can give one example. I met with an accident a few years ago, but from that moment, I had fractures in both of my legs, and it was a very, very bad accident. But I took it as it was, it was like, I never thought why I have met with this accident, why I have to suffer this much. A lot of people think like that and they go into depression and trauma and all that. But I never thought like that. And I always felt that I was lucky, and I have received maximum love and care and affection. So I always, felt happy and never felt down, always, So I think that is through because I have learned Buddhism. So that has kept me, my willpower was very strong. So that is, I think, it is from my Buddhist knowledge, yeah. Yes. And that was one of the most difficult time of my life.
My name's Tenjiku-sung. I have to thank you for coming to Boston this year. So last year I went to India and I had lunch with your friend Titila. And he told me that you guys had a car accident, and I just want to ask if you're okay. If you're okay now.
I look okay, no? I'm 100% okay. 200%. Yeah.
Wait. So we have a question from someone in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
So this person is asking, Rinpoche, sometimes when you feel down or if you ever feel helpless about the world situation or about Tibet, how do you keep motivation or hope?
Oh, that, yes. Sometimes, there are difficult times, especially a very critical time of Tibetan issue. But I always, felt, more there is pressure from Chinese government, and more there is, restrictions to Tibetans. Tibetans are more pro-Tibetan, pro-Tibeta, pro-Sirve. Patriotism to our own culture. And look at those people who have self-immolated. I think it is 150 plus. So Tibetan spirit is very, very alive. So unless one Tibetan, right? I mean, that Tibetan issue will be alive. So I have this strong feeling, yeah. So, and especially seeing such young people like you, very active, I'm sure you will carry on, and maybe you can make more development, and I'm sure, yes. Don't worry.
And my question is about interracial marriage and relationships, mixed marriage. So if you were to have children that were half Tibetan or half black, white, Latino, would you say this is a blessing or this is bad? Or would you want like these children to like carry on our culture if they weren't Tibetan?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think a lot of Tibetans do believe that there should not be mixed in
marrying like someone else.
other race, like such as black people. Well, I don't know, whatever. But our Tibetan population is very, very less. So due to that reason, but there's no concrete reason for this. Why cannot? Unless it's a good human being, I don't see anything wrong getting married with anyone. There's no fact in that. But I may be totally wrong, And I'm not representing the Tibetan, the government or anything. This is my individual, view. I may be totally wrong, and there may be a lot of very important reasons that Tibetans should not get married with other race or whatever. But from my, it's just, old thinking, I think, yeah. No, there's no concrete reason, yeah. Even the Tibetan emperor married with a Chinese princess, yes. So, yeah. One from Nepal, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
We have another question from Toronto. So this one is, do you need a teacher or a lama to reach enlightenment? Because Buddha did it by himself, right? So that's the question. Do you need a teacher or a lama to reach enlightenment?
Yes, of course, I think so, yeah. Even in our worldly things, right? From kindergarten to up to high school, we need teacher. We all know that, right? So if we want to go extensively into Buddhist teachings, of course we need a teacher, guardians. And if I speak from Buddhist point of view, for sure you need the lineage, you need the teacher's directions to the student, yes. But I'm sure there are different ways to do it. You may not have to sit next to the teacher and learn Buddhism. Modern technology is very, very advanced, so through different channels, I think you can reach to one's teacher. But from time to time, one should see the teacher and get the instructions, yeah.
Thank you for giving us your time today and for being with us through your sickness. My question is, I feel like a lot of young Tibetans, we feel like we have the burden of being a Tibetan as well as also being like a normal kid growing up, and we feel like we have to take on all of our history and our people's reputation on us in anything we do. And I just wanted to know what your comment was, what your opinion is on that, and also can you share with us if while growing up as a Rinpoche, if you ever had a time when you just wanted to be a normal boy and not, go through all that, teachings and all that formalities and stuff. Sure.
What burden? I didn't understand.
We're with Western students, right? We grow up with them and we go through all the formal educations with them, but we also have that additional being a Tibetan. Yes. You have to do something for your community, and in the end, whatever you learn, you have to go back to your community. We have one person represents Tibet, though. Yes. So what's your opinion on that?
My opinion was clear, I think, because each and every one of you represent Tibetan. So it is important that you should carry on the message of Buddhism, and which is very relevant for you, and not only for your own, but for the for the environment, so the surrounding environment. Yes. So I'm saying it is not easy in America to do this, but I think that should be done. I don't know how you're going to do it. I don't know. But I think it is also responsibilities of the parents to raise up their kids, with a good environment, so that they will be able to, pass on the message. Yeah. And what was the other question?
The other question was just if you could share with us from your experience, if while you were growing up, if you ever just wanted
Okay. Yes, there were some different times, but having the title of Rinpoche, there are a lot of advantages. So I get to enjoy that. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Also disadvantage, but also advantages. So it's like that. I want to be very clear. I'm not encouraging you to speak in English, So it is totally right if you can speak in Tibet. I would be more happy to hear you speak Tibetan. That would make me more happy. So I wanted, because some of you maybe know zero Tibetan, only Tashitele. So that's why I'm trying to, use my broken English to, interact with you. But it is totally right to speak in Tibet. I would be more than happy to hear you speak Tibetan. Yes.
Ling Rinpoche la tesle ni tiwa di tanangarangi da ka susu namgine tonang chungwa de la ni tan chue de de ge ti hisbi Rinpoche de pe ne kwangsa je pe china na mi sangwa changwa shi shi de jia xue de an de di shi da the one thing 미성과 개정부를 섬기더라. 이제 표본 남바지 미찬이 수술라마 피도 삼바다 규섭 지하다 라미기 질럽라 이제 개정부를 아니 언더 안서다 링링링스라이 공화 시원시 안저 표버지 미찬이 이제 만들어 첩시기 링게 숙침부여라 안저 표현으로 한다다 컬러 추기 라마마다 이제 기타 강이 뭐이디 안저 진주는 첩시기 링기든지 피디 미 용어በት 카가도 당하기 링기 디 먼저도 너무 충스라니 혼들라니 링수라기다 첩시도 란지기 칼로미시 근데 신경은 뭐되니 딘데서 주슈치야다 칼 actively participate like 라운드 제데 가감스키 개정본 디고를 직송은 도체나
As I said, each and every Tibetan have the responsibility for the Tibetan cause and one's own culture. But to keep Tibetan culture alive, it should happen in Tibet, That's the most important. That's the, like the basis. Then it can flourish. So in order to that to happen, we need to go back to Tibet, Otherwise, maybe this generation or maybe one or two generations, it will, carry on like this. But after that, difficult. Tibetan culture should be preserved in Tibet. So in that to happen, Tibetans should be able to go back and live freely in Tibet and to keep their one's religion and culture alive. So that's where we are stuck now, Otherwise we are all fine. So that has to be, if we do not go back to Tibet, our Tibetan religion, Buddhist religion, and Tibetan culture cannot be preserved outside of Tibet, Let's suppose say Korean culture comes from Korea, right? If Korea is not there, how will Korean culture, be alive? So same as, everywhere. So Tibetan, if there is no Tibetan freedom, then our religion and culture will never be preserved. So for that, Tibet's freedom is very important. So that So it is very important for you to participate in the different, how should I put it, different groups, right? Or different, movements, yes, to participate in the different movements. And, but approach should be realistic. That is also very important. If unrealistic approach is being, just showing anti-China slogans, and it will not help. That will, that's an obstacle. So we need to have a very, very, very realistic approach, so that we will be able to, solve our problem and go back to Tibet, because that's what we want. That's important. Yeah. So maybe some of Tibetans may be very kind and good person, but not seeing so much importance maybe in participating into these. But you guys know how important, so you should participate. Yes, I encourage you for that. Yeah.
당에 되게 백이오라 히네다 림슬라기 데 갈롭 디송니 갈롭 니니다 어디 셈트데스 파스랑에 비지죠
그래 오시라도
네네 예밍라 올로 바이 라 예밍라 올로 바이 나데 자드라 라빠질라 기겐 주기 딘다니 봐 얘기 룩도 망치다 뒤인다 게레 그러면 다루스 나오네 다 로니 기겐치니 다 디인데 망고 슈스통도 동이 룩도 망치 카시 다 망치다 말에 이게 룩도 카시 주부대 도면도 롱조지도 원에 아니 롱차우 라시 얘기 룩도 징에 동반하나 슈스라 롱나니 다 인데도 망고 통도 부 카시 때문에 야포진이 롱조지도 되니 카시 원래 뺏갈래 하고도 건설라 다 라다 나물로 진짜 나물로 다 취엘라베 말다 슝길로 조금 말에 이니다 디 디네도 돈다 베게네 디스 갈하고 차서라 이 인지네 지스티가 so you can't teach religion in the classroom because it's not allowed to, because we're a secular classroom school, but there are many aspects of Buddhism that are very beneficial, I think, for students, especially ones that are 7-8 years old. So how do I incorporate some of these aspects of Buddhism? For example, like mindfulness, compassion, last but not least, single tasking, which I think is something that's become lost today because nobody single tasks anymore. And I think that's also one reason why a lot of students in my classroom are having a hard time focusing, because they're always thinking about 3 different things in their head. So
what was the last thing you said?
Single tasking.
What is that?
Single tasking.
Okay. Single point. Okay.
어디가디 뺏게 주모 동호들아. single tasking 룸 나물에 다 소가 주어 말 들었으면 당아 지야 뺏갈래 하고 동호들아. 다 가동에 다 폰나데 TV 다 담에라도 치 다풀 된소라문에 다 최대문에 I think it's one of the only things still very effective in single tasking. So 최대 laptop 말에 진짜 나오는 힘이 다 condense compassion, the single tasking, the in the condense level the 보고 춘지는 줄라 다 디바디 띵아 디라이 도전아.
Yes. There are very violent children out there. And, yes, it is very difficult to control, But I think, as I said before, I think one must go and sit there together, and talk to the boy with, just sit there and talk, and I'm sure that individual, boy or girl, has a lot to say, A lot of things must have gone through her or his life. So I think one can, not just if one is jumping up and down, you try to control with, some anger, and that is totally an unrealistic approach. So you just sit there, just sit together and talk, and, try to help. I'm sure you can, there must be a solution. Yes, I'm sure. And if you can, speak about love and compassion, I think there's no one will reject, because every religion talks about love and compassion. It's not only Buddhism who talks about. Buddhism goes very deep into love and compassion. But generally, love and compassion, everyone talks. No one will reject love, right? Everyone wants to receive love. So, and as you said, if you could explain single-point meditation and all that, that has nothing to do with visualizing Buddha and, deity. It is about a process of how to keep your mind undistracted. So even a lot of universities in America and schools are being taught this lesson, and it is showing a lot of result. So I think, I don't think it's got anything to do with religion. So if you could explain it, I'm sure you will be able to help those violent kids. Yeah.
My question is Buddha always teach us love and show our compassion to all of human beings, even sentient beings. And it's very easy for us to love our parents, our friends, and our teachers. But sometimes it's kind of very difficult for us to love the people who are those one we really do not like. Yeah, so how do we show our compassion and love to those people?
Okay.
Thank you.
What was your name?
Oh, my name is Tashi, and I come from inside of Tibet.
Okay. Which part of Tibet?
Amdo area, near Labron Monastery.
Okay. Yes, it is difficult, but it is taught in the teachings that, that yes, as you said, it is easy to show love towards the loved ones, such as your parents, your kids, or those people who are close to you, and your teacher. But and then there are varieties of people who are, you may not hate or love that variety. Then there's other variety who's your enemy, right? So it is very difficult. So I think that is due to not knowing the law of dependent, how we are dependent, and we all live in the care of all beings, even our daily things, clothes, food. It is due to the effort of others that we are enjoying. Otherwise, if the factory doesn't produce clothes, how we are going to do it? We always think, oh, I pay, so but that is not true. even you pay if they don't do it, what will you do? Right? So every care, electricity, gas, water, everything is from, kindness of others. So we should really realize the kindness of others, and that if there's one day shutdown of all that facility, there'll be a lot of major problems. So in practical sense, it makes a lot of sense that, we should show love. And and then enemy, if we speak from Buddhist point of view, is the best object to practice patience, because you will not be able to practice patience to your loved ones. So the enemy is the best object of to practice the practice of patience, and like that,
Rinpoche, nge tiwa kasa that tugu chunga da lo shomban zu nangba chula tonang yoge den zayora ani da kese kunzu chaila this kale khabu chungyo sir kanchina phama nam da kese nangba chue korda tiwal korna phama chamcham tuju tai mera andi ga tep tin zuro logna chikhashi kale khapon thenda khase gochula kale khapoyara that do this shonge nzala nangba chula khandis chini changore
excuse me. As I like Boston, you can just walk and come to the center and speak to the resident Kishila. Then I think nowadays this on internet a lot of classes going on, so one can attend those classes. And then you have summer holidays, so one can go to India, or I don't know, take some courses in Buddhist centers, and but I'm not sure each and every how you're going to do it. I'm not sure. I'm very ignorant about this part of the world. Yeah. So, but there must be many ways, and I am sure that different Buddhist centers are, have some different programs, and yeah.
My name is Tenzin Nobu. I have a two-part question. One of my friends, she had a younger brother who was chosen to be a tulku before, and she talked to me about it, and I said, oh, you should be happy about it. But she was like, no, I'm not happy about it, because my younger brother now can choose a life for himself. It's basically going to be depicted by the Buddhism way of doing his life, So what would your message be to her? And my second question is, how like these days there's a lot of fake Rinpoches coming up. Like I've seen firsthand itself, like some of the tulku, not Rinpoches, tulku. Like I've seen firsthand some tulkus like go away for 6 months and Tajay and all that, and after 6 months when they come back, they're like going to clubs, pubs, and like hanging around with like normal people like us. So in that situation, what do? Do you expose them, or is there should there be a way to expose them, or should the Tibetan Institute or something do something about it to expose them itself, or do you go on your own to expose them out?
Very controversial. First question was, someone had a kid who became a tulku, and she was unhappy about it.
No,
right?
My friend's younger brother was selected to be a tulku, but she was not happy about it because now his life is going to be depicted by the way of like Buddhism and everything, so he can't live the life he actually wanted to. So what would you say to her?
Then she should simply not send him to the monastery. Yeah, that was the only option, I think. Then, yeah, I'm not encouraging this, but that would be the only solution to solve this problem. And that's the answer, I think, yeah. And then what was the, oh, okay, the other one, okay. Oh. If, but are you sure that happened?
Yeah, I know the person firsthand.
Sorry?
I know the person firsthand who is the Tulku, and like his younger brother is one of my really good friends. So the older brother goes like 6 months away to, I think, Thailand or something. He has a monastery out there, and after 6 months he comes back and like he hangs out with us in the club, and everywhere we go around.
But if he's a Tuku, doesn't mean he's a monk. That's totally different. Tukus are recognized as a reincarnation of a holy being, but he may not have to be a monk. But if one is a monk, then one doesn't have to be a Tuku as well. So this individual may not be having a vows, and some of our Tibetan traditions, they do not have vows, but they still wear the robe. So one has to first do a thorough investigation, and then, take some sort of decision. Yeah.
Kyabje Ling Rinpoche. I just want to say thank you for coming to Boston, and I just want to say I'm proud to be a Tibetan Buddhist, but I always wanted to ask a monk of your high power if it is sinful to play a certain sport or take part in an activity that requires you to hit someone. or be physical, or to be a physical being, on the
What was the question?
I wanted to say or ask if it was sinful. If it's sinful, sinful, or bad, or bad as a Tibetan Buddhist to take part in a sport or activity that requires you to be physical or hit someone, Yeah.
Participating in a sports.
Yeah, or activity, yeah.
Activities such as what?
Football, hockey, lacrosse.
I don't think, yeah. I don't think it's just playing sports is sinful at all. But let's suppose, say, if one is on a lawn and playing football, then there are a lot of creatures, so they may be killed. You have to run on the lawn a lot and stepping on different creatures. So you may, how should I put it? A lot of animals might die. So that could be one of the, that could be a reason that one should not. In a surface, I think it's okay, yeah. It's not sinful at all. But I think when you do a lot of those kind of activities, then I think the delusions, the negative afflictions arises. Then it is not to be, practiced, yeah.
Tashile, my name is Shruti and and I'm from India. So Tashdili is the only Tibetan I know.
You're Indian?
Sorry?
You're Indian?
Yes.
Okay, pure Indian?
Yes.
Okay.
So my introduction to the Tibetan or the Buddhist way of life is from my wonderful roommates. So my question to you is, I know that culture changes, it evolves culture changes and evolves based on time and where you are. And much of Tibetan way of life and Buddhism is now in India, and a little bit of it is now here in the US. So in your opinion, how has India influenced the Tibetan way of life in a good way? And how has the Tibetan way of life influenced India or here in the US in a good way?
I don't think Tibetans have any influence on Indians, for sure.
Or at least a part of India where Tibetan is present.
Yeah, they may be, yeah. But Indian influence is a very big influence. The whole Tibetan culture, the whole Tibetan religion, the whole idea about Tibet, it's from India. So ancient India, not the modern India, not what is being practiced now in India. That's a big, but the ancient Indian tradition is very much influenced in Tibet. Yes. What was your question?
How has it changed? Has modern India changed the Buddhism or Tibetan way of life, or the other way? Have you practiced
Modern India almost lost all the culture, even Hinduism. Only rituals are now there. The old Indian, school thoughts are not being preserved, and even Buddhism is not being preserved. So it's become very materialistic, and so much of crime, so much of difficult things, because it is not being kept alive in India. So I think that is the big problem in India. Yeah. But Tibetans influencing Indian, I don't see any influence that Tibetans can influence Indians. Yeah. But Indian influence is not there in Tibetans, I think. Yeah.
Actually, you told the Nangshu Inji the Peva Megyo in the Mongbu Chidwa, so Nangshu chair to the Lumbanala. But Peva Nangla, the Peva Nangla, chair new and newer Chidwa, and you tower, Peva tower, and the new and newer Chidwa, and you Manzo Pevan Zarabu, Manzo do lost the Chinjus and so Lingedo, you're a Peva. Tawasuyado ani khajini pe kanangju di peba ki kuri nangla new chaido ani di ngi samla neinda di sininga so lengedo do or the engineer nimdo china dire thanda modern do china dire khaisangido kontina
there is tadi 치제수는 낭배산 집에 주 다르게 어렸어. 아니 배배는 야 도나총 두두스. 아니 따가래. 라. That is totally up to the individual. Because no one can force their kids to send to the monastery. Yeah. Of course, you have a big responsibility, because to keep the Tibetan monasteries alive, the Tibetans have the responsibility. So, if you want to preserve the teachings of Buddha, which is so pure and which is so deep, then the monasteries must be preserved. So that is responsibility of people, of Tibetan people. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Tabachiko Cheomaretida? No, not at all. I think there are some ways, yes. Yeah, I'm sure, yeah. It's just that we have not found the exact, way of doing it. But I'm sure, yeah. But if you say Buddhism is, the Tibetan Buddhism is very much based on the Nalanda tradition, the Nalanda University of India. And Nalanda University, the Buddhist philosophy is very much based on, logical reasoning, and, which is very relevant for this modern time, especially with this modern science. There's a very lot of the messages from Buddha, and showing a lot of contribution towards the scientists. So it is already modern, but I don't know how to modernize it, That's a different approach, yeah. But there are some, I'm sure there is a way, and that should be done, yeah. Seo Cha-song.
ngala hone to la chiwa ji so nam gi khala re nangche ta phebe nangche chi bu mare like nangche ra na khadi ne nga zo ta impermanence ko la ke jam bu shege ra like khari ne chi yego di pe degi yo mare la ge ra ani ine khala re penchashina nga zo thanda khadi ne like sungala khala re pheba shön ba da suimel ne so pheba yimba di hagwa ke chim bu pe re so phebe gi da culture da identity da zo da shengwa ne so ke chim bu pe re da sung de ge ra namgyun ta ba khogo ba yin khadi ne ine nge gi ta thongala only khari image yo mare phebe ge culture lana khari ko ke shigore phebe identity lana khari ko ke shimo only ko ke shesh mashi wa do jesh ra like message dekhala ra di chigore la ani khandes chigore or like khari chigore only mendu nam gi chaje ani ta khesi ngajo thanda like ta impermanence ko ke shigi ya bana penchashina anzo thanda da ngajo ro yim bana mangcha like ari rang la da chalong do chi mine kya ga la this day ne le gyo do re ani ngajo ngaran so ge thanda khala re phebe ge ta chiga rikshung do da ji mo wo jo samo khotna je mare this khaga ro mi pheba like phena yo ge ben khaga re pheba kya ga rang la be de ge ben khaga re ta dinzo like pheba le di le khala re 냠용 간주먼주는 연결아 또 얘네 남겨 찾은 라디아라양 칼로레 탄다 얘네 라시마나 신 칼로레 디직치고레 라디거라 또 한단데디 라바나시 like ngazo 칼로레 치조 또 그르기여라 ngazo 페바지고 말에 like 사실 과거서는 정말 그르기여라 아니 페바딘 졸레 믹스기 또 그르베 차라니 랍자로지 지겨나 가로 치워다
Pöbetsuda, pöberikshun nyawurus takwas shegores. Inen di nyawurus tokto shemidus. Dirve, yeah. I think you're. Dirva.
Okay, I internal like so in Tibetan Buddhism, we always talk about impermanence, right? That nothing really exists. Yeah, nothing is permanent, right? And in a lot of ways, when we talk about how we're trying to preserve Tibetan identity, Tibetan culture, right? Thinking about how those things always change throughout time. But we always have this idea that, oh, we're trying to preserve something. And if we're saying that things are not permanent, then what are we trying to preserve actually? What is being a Tibetan? What is being a Tibetan? Like, what does being a Tibetan mean, right? Because I constantly think that a lot of times there's this idea of being a Tibetan is like this and that, and we are always trying to a lot of times when young people get the message of, oh, you should preserve identity, culture, there's that vision of, oh, this is what you should be preserving. But that is not permanent, right? Because things are always changing. So what is your message to not just young Tibetans, but people, Tibetans in general, who are saying these messages and trying to hold on to these ideas?
Impermanent, one can't help, because things will keep changing, that's for sure. So I think you're mixing two things together, but what we are saying is that for a Tibetan to have a happy and healthy life, it is important that one should know its own culture, and one should speak one's own language, and one should be able to read its own letters. Because, maybe when one is in teenage, it's okay. But when you reach a certain age, because when you get older, then you start to feel more Tibetan. It's always like that. Then when you reach that age, then you will start having regrets. Oh, it is due to the not, putting enough interest in Tibetan culture and Tibetan language, And when that time comes, then it is too late. And also, it is, as I said, Tibetan culture and Tibetan, is very much based on Buddhist teachings, love and compassion. So that is always useful in your daily life, from morning till night. Always, when you relate to your parents, relate to your children, your friends. So that's why we are, there needs to be promotion of Tibetan culture. But evolution change is there. That cannot help, right?
Tesla Rinpoche-la, ani ngi tiwa de karin la na nga thata menkang le ga chigi ani menkang la me doctor da nurses da kunzo ngi thona la injection stress space ki do kana na phe la neba mangbu yore ani ring neba mangbu thungo ra ani khura so ita sem ka nga mangbu ki do ra da din ngi de thong de khura so sem ba da bu ga da din 그래서 emotional balance 컨디션에 칸은 네번만 통과라 미션 받아 민자와 네번만 통과래 인코즈 더 센슈마 차이치도 크로스 수수 크랑기 심바 공가리네 그래 심바 컨디스 답고래
다디 가면 뭐 never 줘 내가 나지 that there are a lot of ways, I think. And yoga and breathing meditation, and also physical, because of physical movement, because of exercise can be helpful. And then also some messages from Buddha's message. The mix is yeah. There's no concrete something, because doctor did it, says okay. Just keep them going.
That's like going to too much. Hansa Handa Della P. Loptagi, P. Canada, Dova Kanakashi, and then Yam Doyore, and the Samsung Canada, and so P. 가서 베일라베다 두고든 저tes 배워 두고 이 말에 아니 this 배워 두고든 저 베일라 좀 얘기면다 and this kellan 저 갈래 중거다 and the 참참 파마기 바니 support 더 디메라 두 버지다 kellan 가리 코에로 좀 참참 메라 아니 갈래 중거다 and the kellan 저 semba 가래 마차에다 칼로레 semshumachaela conditioning ani Rinpoche ki like message kara kellan denzola
Tati Koranzu Kenla Puyu Lamnge de Tajik Toa Pevejik Ne Lamnge de Tenechik Doga Lamnge Ine de Tajik Pige Che Lamnge Ine de Shivu Yakurwa Koranzu Tende's contribution Chevati but Shivuji Gune Tane Sonum Shivsagri Samutanga Sama Sonum Sagri when a per temper Chelsea Zatapu Niju Gange Chimutindejilia Chige Lumbo Telas of the Legina Lene Kate Mendusine Ali Susumi Chik music to Daljik Ali Chik share of Des Tangache Chakachin Pay Aburo that didn't when a Jesu Iran share the Tuji Chess share Mato that didn't know should Tangishu Nashir Per temper Chelsea Per music in Yahu Yungu Yobati Dinner Mandun Suji Yomar each one of you wants that I'm sure. You may not be fluent in Tibetan, but each one of you feel that you are a Tibetan and you have some responsibility and you want to show, you want to contribute towards your own country. So, such programs, when it takes place, everyone should participate. There was one question before also, when there was some political activities in the menu chick to Sudwa, that down a shit and the share the chick the deal Yamshu chat, Bekachimuro, that the Kachishurwa. Imagine how are we are going to preserve our culture, how we are going to, there's no other way. So when you have those very qualified teachers, qualified singers, you must not miss that opportunity. And I encourage each and every one of you to participate in all the programs which are, organized by the Tibetan community or by the center, or I don't know. And please, to play an active role in all the movements and all the classes. Yeah. And I once again thank those concerned people who are organizing and who are teaching those classes. Yeah. Then I think Western children are very disciplined, and they do things by time. There are certain times to play a video game, certain times to read, certain times to watch television, all by timing. But Tibetans sometimes difficult. When there's a gathering, they don't listen, run here and there. So that is, I think, due to backward education. So maybe it will be solved. Not being on time, all that, yeah. So.
So most of us are starting school again, and it can get very stressful with tests and projects and stuff like that. And my mom always tells me to pray the morning before a big test. So I wanted to know how praying and Buddhism can help us in our education.
Good. Praying, I can confirm that it is not harmful. Yeah. So, you just make a wish, Everyone does that. Even a 2-year kid, make a wish It's making a wish. There's no, don't, be so attached for the result, If I pray that, whether that will be happen, whether that will be materialized, don't be so, excited. Just pray and, move on. And if you have the karma and if you are fortunate enough, it will come. If it doesn't come, it doesn't come, Just, keep it, open. Don't be so, because I have made such and such prayer and this is not, happened, why it is, like that, then, you will collapse one day. So, just take it easy, Every wish cannot be fulfilled. We all know that. And try our best, with good motivation, Don't do things, I want to defeat such or such and such person. I want to be better than him, No, I want to be a good person. I want to, show some result, and show some result and, to help my Tibetan cause and myself, I want to support my family like that. Then if you do with a good motivation, I'm sure there'll be a good result. With a lot of, aggressiveness and so much of ambitious, I want to achieve this, that, then, nothing will, you will achieve nothing. Just take it easy. And making wish is no effort, it's just wish, that's all. Yeah.
So I'm going to realm true story. Ani dikara hami da mi haji realm dikara yakshu sum dora. Ani dikara dushu sum dora. The music dikala kena dikara. How would they like get back to like the top 3 realms? Cause like ngasamu tangtagala dikara. I find it hard to believe that you can like gather good karma while you're in hell. Cause dikara inito chiyora.
Excuse me. We believe that there has been countless lifetimes in Buddhism. So there are a lot of, we have done so much bad things. There are a lot of negative karmas that we have created. And due to that, we are being born in the lower realms. But also we have done so many good things, so many good karmas. So if there is some cause that the imprint of good karma arises, then you will create the karma to be reborn as a, into the good realms. Clear? So many good imprints, good imprint, bad imprint, because countless lifetimes we have done so many good things, so many bad things. So when the good imprint arises, then, there's always, you create a good merit. And as a result, you'll be reborn into the good, the human and the God and the non-God realms. Yeah. Don't worry, there's always a way out, No one is online, I think.
Kyabje Ling Rinpoche during the period to now. Ni to the Sudong Tree Galai. Ni also the people page number Chadiore, and number Jimbichane Shasayajura. The Nambeki Somodana Nambeki Chijoto. The Shasana, do you know? Any the Susurabala, the Masala, not the game in the Shasa, the like the game which don't they do. So did the so the morally the demon do, and you were the Chudin Tone, and Missy Tanda Aril Chawina, and he Shagune, and he Nazamuchi Captido, Nadagashila, Putuagi, Shasani, Putuagi, and Sulhadisha. And he Shandaguji, and he Koyuda, Javashushim Shushagdo, Lumadinola, and he shot Sunigi, Shasunil animal agriculture farming Laura, and the Paju, the Sunigi, and Sinjindi Gondanche, and Sinjindi, the Hunsugi, Duri Laura, the Tibetan Timothy, and Hanso Kalula, Chini, Kula, Nugan Shum, we was this year, the game was too big though. Any also no day, Chison that Tabaka, Anila Kaire, Gagalim Baina, Kamapa, Chubiku, the Legu, the Shamiki Ligupete, Ine Tabamambuchi, Shachugure, the Wada, Nambaji Michani, Tata de Unamina, any. Chidana Puba number in Bichani, Sha Pangatoini, I know the kitchen boy in Badi, and a color of Chisong Shui.
That the Shasa, 40. Once bring him a Tambamatochi, say the Ombushu Silva. So that the Indusane, that Shasa, Lusuji, Yorba. Yaksharan Romanjet. In that Java level, Chipigat and Danizu Manguchi, and Javarum Chinkala Mango Pay. The day Jun Latin Shassing, you shooting the other. Pen Union Chandler. She compared on a kitchen conquered with vegetarian, pure vegetarian. Shadi, but totally banned, but Gaja. Shadi. The Indonesian say new shooting. The Chulu Tangana, Kilu, Nima, Saja, Gaju, Tangana, but kitchen, but Shamira. Tana Sing Sundu, to combat Sober, Tangando Mazu, Suomari, Chipige, Sundu Suneri, Chiktual, Seminar Suneri, the conference Sunni, Shami, Bet, Shamiranja. Chesa Shasa knew the shooting there. Daineti. Woman is a real the Lord that Tongam Pakzadi Yorba. The good Namsa hot punks in the young couple Yorba. The day came be and the Sange Tostos Yorba. Yore. Chesa Dean do rebate and the new tools and Budo. Daine Chidan Kuyu Munguji rally doa. Environment. Penal Chigel initial shoes out. China shall the coin care, said the day can be. The day environment duty and we need to choice we are one. It's not the sort to we some of the power and it's a Yorwa. It's not the in a Shas Masan dead and because Sham Masan so we can some of them Rimangodoa. The day I may say in some. The Don and Sham Masas since savage. Only the Omar. Sham Massa said the nature is in a door, Roshis dead. Sham Massa says it's only a summit. The daughter 기 샤스는 돈 샤까버지 자원이 민도 다이네 고 소제 좋으면 때 뭐였네 저와 다이네 소제 요마르데 샤마스스케 요마르 다이네 가수래 샤사야티 뉴탄 토나데 베야고로 수이네 타와이네 아니네 부이네 보모 상물로 샤사야 뉴탄 디 제수이란다 디 상물로 베준나로 지쉐 샤사리베 샤메이베 오케이
Dans the theory, lastly, Chiva
도모딜라 링음치달라 배울라 투전한 쉬죠. 아니 니 티와디 칸라나 링음치 공로 가zel라디 원신나오레 아니 니와디 링음치기 yap도 용디 가올라 쇼에나단다.
제주 갱엘로 개브레 제주 갱엘로 아니 가쇼그레 가래다 밤을 거야스레 운진도 아니 운진디 1987에 1987 그들에 October 5th of October 운지 챕터 I was born on 1985 18 November 1985 and I was recognized as the previous Ling Rinpoche 1987 October 5th today. 아니 나 네팔 아마 네가 공부 좋아서다 샤자스 no 아니 네가로 캔서 뉴제 샤스 공부 좋아서 no 인다 다 차로 오
Just very much. The Pebechis on all Wamba Kinchin Pukuineda, Neva Ineda, Gengo Ineda, and Shadamango Yore, in the mixing ones me Pamadang, Conze Pamadizo, Shende Gena, Chansa Gena, Gombala Shende Pu, Chimbe Pu, Mitona, Gombala Shende Pu, Gombala Shende Pia, Mikyo Lakalatea, Robatia, Candila, Pendamayer.
Pendo said that 니가 펜도 열어봐. 니가 펜도 전부 열다. 다디 강제 털이야. 제도는 약수이다. 다 수수 되어 가리는데 저 제시는 이 야가면 돼. 내 인설에. 다디 부치 칼라테는 부티 강해지고 세버로 왔다. 이네 공발 다 촉벌의 표비는 디 민몽부 강해세 도로 와. 민몽불이야 아니 웰페어 딜도 차대어로. 진짜 민몽부기 그게 셈바티고 메시 상부제 공발다 아니 든주토네 차진 쫀투고요. 디 쫀투비자네 디 beneficial 전부로 와. 전부를 상부도냐. 제가 다디 소수 되고 거기 있는데 제시하나. 얘디 거기 좀 제체 대충을 타직도 컨펌 제 도움도. 오. that's
Quando tem as outras, tá de last thing, não hora. De Canada era restaurant. The engineer le doing our engineer la shoji. Does Ling Rinpoche see a future where Buddhism is the most popular religion in the world? And what type of world does it look like?
Does Ling Rinpoche see?
So do you see a future where Buddhism is the most popular religion in the world? And what type of world does it look like?
What type of world does it look like now?
Like more in the future, Jema.
My feeling is that, as I said before, Buddhism carries the teaching and message of, love, compassion, tolerance, and the world is facing more of those problems, more of those, crises, and so much of disasters is due to not practicing those teachings. So if people in the world sees the value and realize that the materialistic development is not the how should I put it, ultimate source of happiness, and I'm sure Buddhism has a lot of role to play in the future, and I'm sure it will be a very big contribution in not only for the Tibetans, but for the whole civilization. Taro. 아니 직 다른 완전 좀 아니 직 비게 강zul에 직 가슈래 안수 파수 주도 중 도와 안티데 중의 백업 중 양 상업에 도난 침부체 아니 저와든 소리 시라기 직 비게 오늘 쌤 뒤에 지기에 직 나 좋아 침부 중 라고도 직 비게 리그 칼이야 직비게 님슈 제단 거를 베베 시딩 리그 칼 님슈 제단 거를 직 나무주기 직 고도 배단리 베베 슈의 직슌 거리리 직 된제 거 정말로 직 더나르 직 상내 직 저를 스티비티 시라야 오래 제수이랑 나주슈야 오늘 전에 배야고도 세상디 인도 장 정말로 베때 아니다 직 산이네 미랍다야 추구이지레 세상 자월 남조 요야 아니로 정도 야고 채투야 아무 번에 뱉기 겨울음지 공부하다 튠베 아니 직 비미 야고지다 오늘 배우기 쉬어도 리숑 돌이야 샴디 첨부도 돼야 말한 강줄이야 직게 아슈레 저와치기요 저와치하는 시장주 땡데티 지그리 선것도 세상디 인도 아니 자월 남도 요하다 아니 직게 기부 요하다 아니 비게 아슈레 로정도 타치고 야고 요하다 니물론 개기니 두지체 되시들래
나도 보통은 잡지네 저질레는 뭐지라 근데 칼로 잡지 나와라 이따번에 두지체 쉬이 나도 참면 잡지네 아니 단단히 딱 고리대 말로 버치니 되는 쪽에 뭐라긴 나도 참면 잡지네야 뭐지 자다시 나와서 나도 마음을 내면야 다워지게 때문에 직진 좀 되게 이래가지고 하는 거라 소르지 가리고 있는 돈을 지지 그래 잘한다는 게 지금 뭐랑 로고지 그래 단다르와 제라 오델라 로고나로나 안텐데 계산라 로고나로나 저도 로쇼마인사 파트인데와 지도도와 나도 다워를 때문에 지금 좀 아니 사가는 좀 가서 야 티셔 저거는 사전된 좀 고리 못하고 말이 아니 가리고 있는 돈을 지내 저거래 아니 르보지 때라 돈이 잘 나오나 상마 요시 나오나 시이 아니 저는 지금 뭐 쇼셔서 아니 나도 냐루지 고바지 트나이 디나라 보고서마도 아니 밤마다 심바 수축 맞으러나 And the leg also Chito and the Mobang the jungle machine and the leg Chito and the Betishu, Jonathan Shujavana, and then on the shoot that we Shamri Kasan Geresale Pozo Shecho, and so what can I call you Kozakore, and Kapatin the nation of the Tinaraya, the chance of Tama, and the Karikona Yapoyo, the Dodoa, and then to Nachu down to Shukama Jasho to China. No, some lot of Chubula.
Okay. Just so Ling like I just hung the Tina Dojik Dani, Omani Peme like Gojin, Kelata Gijik Pido, no, the Tushina Shuing Tabane. Okay. So, very delay, and Ramuchella, Kada Pure Kari. Suso Kada Suso Kilkejo. Kada Baki, this one to Shusho. The body Deshanda. Put you to the Chadu Jarochi. Tama Desho. Put the Susho. Two, Gumbal Susho, Gumba Papa with Susho too. Come back inside. Don't go out. Come back here. Push. Here. Come forward, Muji. Sit here, okay? Sit down. You know, sit. Pashi, get your mouth. What's better? Hey, don't step behind the car, okay? You block. Come here more. Go back behind. Come here, more close here. More close. Go behind, maybe it's... No. Too much. Yajan. Okay. The big one is stand up behind. Big one stand behind. Come inside. No. So what you do? Big one's behind. Come inside. Come back. More close. Put what the dollar to show. And then this to show. Don't do that. People come more here. Here. You guys see me? Here. This to show. This to show.